Praise to Allah. With the Pooh shiesty situation, I feel like he didn't really think it all the way through. Because if you look at it, there's no way that he really thought things all the way through. If you was gonna rob him, not saying that you should rob somebody, but if you gonna rob somebody, you should, try to get the most amount of money possible. If you gonna, pull out blicks and make people sign paperwork, he should have been he should have had Gucci wire all the money out of his account into his account. If he was gonna rob somebody, doing all that just for a ring and a watch, it's crazy, and a chain. Just that doesn't make any sense when you could have got way more. I'm just saying there was other ways. If he was really trying to get some money out, dude, there was other ways to really get some real money out of dude. But just trying to get a watch and a chain is crazy. And then robbing an off-duty cop on top of that, that makes the situation more crazy. It's like he didn't think things all the way through. And another thing is, the reasons behind it. Some people say the way Gucci treated Big Scar when he died and his family, he didn't do right by his family, by giving them money or whatever. So that's what made Pooh shiesty upset. And I don't know the situation, but yeah, Gucci could have handled the Big Scar situation better for sure. I don't I don't think he should have asked for the chain back. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you always claiming you got M's in the bank and you all these millions up. I don't know why you just didn't, let them keep the chain or whatever. So I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I guess they didn't appreciate that. So a lot of people was mad about that. But I'm just saying Pooh shiesty didn't think things all the way through, for sure. And when you mad, it's hard to really think, but that's why you gotta be slow to anger. And I'm just saying, if he was gonna pull a move like that, he should have did something that was a little bit more worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because a watch and a ring and a chain is not that much money when you could have access to way more money than that. You could have made him do a wire transfer, all kind of shit. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like he didn't think things all the way through, and now he just made his situation and his homie situation way worse. Cause it's like 9 of them, and it's the feds too. So it ain't gonna be easy. You know what I'm saying? Once them people get involved, it's a whole different ball game. But then you gotta think, there's been plenty of artists in Pooh shiesty situation, where their contract wasn't good, or they found out they signed a BS contract and they ain't never, did this to their CEO. So this is crazy, you know what I'm saying? This might start a new trend, if an artist signed to a CEO and they don't like the contract, this might happen more often now. Who knows? But there's been plenty of artists who've been in some messed up contracts and never did this to their CEO though. Ice Cube, back in the day when he was signed to Priority Records, they didn't pay him what they owed him, so he went in there with a baseball bat and tore up the office with a baseball bat. But, nobody actually got hurt or robbed. You know what I'm saying? So that's one example. And then, there's been plenty of other artists that complained about their contracts over the years, and they never did nothing to their CEO to this extent. So, yeah. But like I said, Big Scar being Pooh Shiesty cousin, you know what I'm saying, that really apparently played a big part into this situation. So, you know, he felt like he had to ride for his fam in this situation to this extent, so that's what it is. Um, just hope that they don't get a bunch of time out of this shit, man, because it would suck, you know what I'm saying, if a talented, well, a few talented artists, because it's him and Big 30, their career got to get, stalled out over just a straight up mistake, man, because, that's what this was. This was a real mistake, because I don't think Pooh Shiesty would have done this again, you know what I'm saying. If he had the choice, I think he would have thought of a different plan, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I feel like he just made a mistake, man. He should have came up with a different plan. If he wanted to, get back at Gucci, he should have put a little bit more thought into it, and not do some shit that's gonna get him and his friends so hot. But it's gonna be interesting to see how this turn out. Hope y'all stay blessed. You still in the bathroom?